Being an online student is awesome, but let's be real, it comes with its own unique set of challenges. So, in this explainer, we're going to build your personal toolkit for success. And we're going to do that by mastering two absolutely essential skills: resourcefulness and self advocacy.
Does this question hit home? I bet it does for a lot of you. It's such a common feeling. You're logged in, you're staring at that screen, and it can totally feel like you're on a deserted island. But here's the secret: you're not actually alone, and there are bridges you can build to get the support you need.
And that's exactly what we're here to do. We're going to move from that feeling of being isolated to a place of real empowerment. How? By filling your toolkit with two of the most powerful skills any online learner can have.
All right, let's dive into part one, figuring out your greatest resource. Now, when we think of resources, our minds usually jump to external things, right? Like books or websites or instructors. But the most important, the most foundational resource you have is actually a lot closer to home. I mean, how powerful is that? Before we look for help anywhere else, we have to recognize our own power, our own agency. Your ability to decide to work hard, to wrestle with a problem until you figure it out, to make things happen, that's the engine that drives everything else. Real resourcefulness always starts with you.
Okay, so once you've got that foundation locked in, the idea that you are in charge of your own success, now it's time to build out your support network. Let's take a look at all the different kinds of help you can pull from. Your network, believe it or not, starts right where you are. Just think about your immediate surroundings. Your family and friends can be an amazing help, not just for cheering you on, but for practical stuff too, like proofreading a paper. And please, do not underestimate the power of a quiet place to study or a rock-solid Wi-Fi connection. Having a plan, and maybe even a backup plan for those basics, is a total game changer. Next up, let's look at the digital world, which is just overflowing with support. Your school system, something like Canvas, it has tons of help guides. You can find tutorials for basically any software like Microsoft Office. And then you've got these incredible academic resources like the Resource Center, online tutoring, and, of course, Khan Academy, which can be an absolute lifesaver for subjects like math. The point is, these tools are just sitting there, waiting for you to use them. So beyond the practical and the digital, the source material we're looking at points to a third kind of resource, a spiritual one. The idea presented here is that faith can be a source of heavenly help, letting you tap into a strength that's bigger than your own. It's a reminder that support can come from all kinds of places, and for a lot of people, this is a really vital part of their network, making sure they never feel like they have to do it all on their own. So, you've identified your own inner power, your local resources, the online tools, and even your spiritual support. Awesome! But how do you actually use them? How do you access that help? Well, that brings us right to our third section, mastering the art of self-advocacy. So, what in the world is self-advocacy anyway? It sounds kind of formal, right? But at its core, it's really simple. It's about speaking up for yourself and for what you need. It's not about being demanding or selfish, not at all. It's about taking an active, responsible role in your own success. I absolutely love this analogy from the source material because it just makes everything click. Think about it. If someone is literally standing on your foot, you don't just suffer in silence, do you? Of course not. You speak up. Self-advocacy in your classes works on the exact same principle. You recognize there's a problem, and you communicate it clearly to get the help you need. Speaking up is one thing, but how you say it, well, that can make all the difference in the world. And that brings us to the really practical side of this: learning how to communicate with confidence. Communication isn't one size fits all. We can pretty much break it down into four main styles. You've got passive, where you kind of put your own needs last. Then there's aggressive, which is forceful and steamrolls the other person. You've got passive-aggressive, which is tricky. It's all about indirect, hidden complaints. And finally, the one we're aiming for, assertive. Yep. Assertive communication, that is the goal. It's the sweet spot. It's where you are clear, you're direct, and you're respectful. You stand up for your own needs while also respecting the needs and rights of other people. This is the style that builds bridges and actually gets results. Let's make this super concrete. A vague statement like, "I struggle with my studies," leaves the other person just guessing. How can they help? But look at the assertive version. It names the specific problem, Excel, and makes a clear, polite request for help. See the difference? One is a dead end, the other is an open door.
Here is another perfect example. The homework was difficult. Okay, and it doesn't go anywhere. But the assertive approach,
It pinpoints the exact problems. Questions 3 and 7 on absolute references. This makes it so much easier for an instructor or a tutor to give you the specific, effective help you actually need.
So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Thinking about everything we just talked about, what is one specific, clear, and assertive request you can make this week to help yourself succeed? Think about it and then go for it. Give it a try. Because when it all comes down to it, you are your own greatest resource.